Hello, everybody. I am continuing Unit 5 lecture, and this is on Kamakura period in Japan. So if you see the summary of it, we have 14 slides. So Kamakura period is about 200 years, and this is most disastrous period, I would say, or most unfortunate period, because there were a lot of natural disasters. Somehow, many times of earthquakes, many times of fire and hurricanes. So a lot of Japanese people suffer. But this is very important because this is the beginning of new political structure called Bakufu, or military government. So in Japanese popular culture, you see a lot of samurais, right? The warriors who carry the guns. And that culture started from the Kamakura period, and it continued all the way to Tokugawa period. This is the last historical period. So Kamakura period is equivalent to Goryeo dynasty of Joseon, of Korea. And then there was a brief period called Namcho, but you can ignore. And then it leads to Muromachi period, Muromachi period to Joseon dynasty. And then Muromachi is short-lived, 200, and then it becomes Momoyama period. And during the period, there was a war between Korea and Japan. And then, because this invasion was failure for Japan, there was a new regime called the Tokugawa family's rule, Tokugawa period. This is often called the Edo. Again, they moved their capital to Edo. And then that's equivalent to late Joseon dynasty. In this military government, shogun is considered the head. He's a military general, but he's also the leader of administration. And then under him, there are daimyos. These are like local rulers. Daimyos, they usually own a big castle. There are daimyos, the plural. And then under each daimyo, you have the samurai, like elite warriors. So it's a military government, but they also rule as civilian officers. So that's a big difference. Previously, it was emperor and then aristocratic families who occupied this position of administration. From the Kamakura period, that administration is occupied by military generals. So this is a portrait of Minamoto no Yoritomo. He was the first shogun of this military government system. So him as a young man, and then him as an old man. So the biggest characteristic of Kamakura period is realism. Samurai rulers, they didn't have many years of education or sophistication that aristocratic men would have. So warriors or samurais of Kamakura period, they usually preferred this type of great realism. It looks realistic. It really resembles the man named Minamoto no Yoritomo as a young man and as an old man. So they really like this candid realism. So shogun is generals who carries barbarians, and then members of Minamoto family, Ashikaga family, Tokugawa family, they all hold the position of shogun. So they are under the emperor. The emperor is not really ruling. It's more like a symbolic figure. So that's why shogun, in a way, is sort of a de facto king, in a way, like a political leader of each regime. And the arms and armor, we see a lot in the museum's collections. Earliest ones come from the Kamakura period, so they are well preserved. And an important example of you have lacquered iron for decoration, and then you have some silk threads, and then you have gilt copper, and then deer skin. So it's a combination of different materials. Like these are all skin. woven together, but it's durable so that it cannot be pierced through. So you can see the samurais in popular culture. So Kamakura period, Buddhism is now spread among ordinary citizens. Until now, like Asuka, Nara, and then Heian period, if you think about those ancient and medieval Japanese periods, Buddhism was spread only among the aristocratic and imperial families. But in the Kamakura period, it spreads through ordinary citizens. So that's very important. This one. So the new warrior class, they like their subject matters with direct honesty and virile energy, like something more masculine and strong. They like those kind of aesthetics. So the realism comes very important. So these are Shinto deities, but you can see how realistic they look like, right? Like red lips and eyes painted, so as if he's, like talking to you. And then Buddhism, like illustrated and scrolls continuously made. So these are called emaki. Remember the name of emaki? But in Kamakura period, the most important archetype called Rai. And then the Buddhist deity is Amida. So there are many Buddhas in the arts of East Asia, and among many different Buddhas, Amida is the god of Western paradise. So he comes from the Western paradise with his Avalokiteshvaras, his musicians, right? And then the guardian figures with fragrance and beautiful music all together, he's coming down. So Raigo is the name for this particular type of painting. So what does Raigo means? Welcoming descent of Amida and Bodhisattvas. So you should remember what Raigo means. Okay, so this is from the Kamakura period, the mat. So Raigo literally means coming down. But in this particular iconography, Amida Buddha and his attendants are descending from heaven to take a believer back to the Western paradise. So Western paradise is a beautiful, desirable place that you want to go, especially after you finished this life. So in Japan, because things were so difficult in Kamakura period, like earthquakes, hurricanes, and many fires, they developed this iconography of Amida coming as a savior. So once you are seeing the Amida Raigo painting, then you can sort of have a peace of mind that, oh, I am going to be in Western paradise. So sometimes a silken cord is attached to that hand, providing a physical representation of Amida's promise to lead the soul to the paradise. For example, you can attach the silk thread from the painting, somehow connect it so that somebody who is on a dead bed can hold on to it and say, oh, I'm very dying. I at least have like this, you see like this word, a thread of hope, right? This is really a thread of hope that he has. So he will believe that, oh, I'll be peacefully living in Western paradise. So Amida Raigo can be depicted like this, so that he didn't come yet, but he is appearing behind these tall mountains, right? And then he will come and save these devotees, and then they will ride the cloud back to Western paradise. This is another figure. So Amida is coming with Avalokiteshvara to this venerable monk, and then monk lies the cloud, and where do they go? Where is the Western paradise? All the way here. It's very far all the way there, so they are going to fly, and back to the Western paradise. So that's Raigo. So I showed you already 3 Raigo paintings, but you can imagine there are more, right? So it was very popular iconography among Buddhist devotees of the Kamakura period. silk paint, only accessible to aristocratic imperial families and maybe wealthy samurais. And then there are some written poems. So there are development of literary stories as well. Muso Soseki is very famous poet of the Kamakura period. Shall I read it for you? From heaven fall icy petals. In the sky, not a spot of blue remains. It is covered with snow. A dusting of jade covers the ground and buries the blue mountains. The sun rises over the mountain. A chill pierces my bones. Silence prevails. Isn't it beautiful? It's like a really frigid, cold day, right? Covered with snow. The poetic languages, like a blue remains in the sky or blue mountains, and so forth. That is it. So I hope you enjoyed my lecture, and I'll see you again in Unit 6. Thank you so much for watching.